Ann Cornick from Paint and Porcelain and Paint and Porcelain Exchange. And today we're going to be finishing our snowman. And this is the way I finished mine. I put enamel on them. Can you see the enamel? Little dots there. And up at the top you can see a little bit of scroll work right here. We're going to talk about both of those methods. I'm not an expert by any means, but it's something that we're going to go through today and finish our plate. This is the way my guy turned out, as I said, and you can see I was really pleased with the luster. The luster is so much cleaner on this. See how beautiful that is? The luster on my first one that I had ever done with the blue, I accidentally went over things and look what I got. This right here, see? You don't want that. So I think this is pretty good. I'm really done with this. I haven't signed my name. That's the one thing I need to do. Now, people tried to train me on doing this and show me how to do it at least 100 times, I'm sure. It seems like raised paste works better for me. First of all, you don't have to worry about the stringing thing. And you can put it in a squeeze bottle and you can get it out and it works great. And so I've always used the raised paste pretty much. Once in a while, I use an enamel. But I never really understood the stringing thing. So that's one of the things I want to make sure I explain today. And the way I'm going to explain it is the way I saw it explained, and it finally clicked for me on a video put out by Learn Porcelain Painting. And I watched that video, and she said at the very end, when you string, it'll fall back and look like a little soft served ice cream cone, circle on the top, and it clicked. And Ann Sanderson, I think, told me that at one time too, and it just went right over my head. So I'm hoping this will help you if you're like me and you've been having problems with the enamel. This is my snowman, and he needs a little enamel up there. So I'm going to put him down over here on the side, and I'm going to get my enamel and all that kind of thing up here. Now I'm going to be using a couple of different things. The enamel that I have is actually from Mr. and Mrs., which now is Dallas, China. And Dallas, China has this, so does Maryland, China, and I know Mary Ashcroft has it. And you can see it's a white powder, and you mix it with your regular paint medium, the medium that you paint with, not the stuff you mix your paints up with. It's the medium that you paint with. So if you use, and I use a semi-drying medium, so this works for me. If you use an open medium, it could be a problem. So you may want to find either a drying or a semi-drying medium. I haven't tried it with my drying pen oil, but my pen oil dries really fast, and I don't want that. I want to be able to work with this for a while. I will be using 3 different types of points to apply this. A lot of people use a fine, this is a 5-0, brush. And see how tiny it is? You can see when I hold it there, it's really tiny. It's like 2 or 5, maybe 5 strands is all it is, but it's not very much on here, not very many bristles on here. I'm going to use that for scrolling. These are the 2 tools. These are called styluses, and I have one that's very thin. This one is very thin, and this one is a little thicker, and I'll bring it up so you can see a little better over there. They have, and you can't see it, I'm sure, but they have like almost a little ball on the end of them, and that's what helps you. And here too, they have like a little flat portion on the end, and that's what helps you pick up the enamel when you're ready to start enameling. So, okay, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take and dip my palette knife in my oil, and I'm going to just start mixing. And let me get a pipette. It'll work a little easier. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to mix. I'm using the oil that I would usually paint with. So that's what I'm using. Okay. And what you're looking for is to get rid of all those little, see all those little lumps I have. Look, see all the little lumps I have? You don't want that. Just keep scraping it up, pushing it down, pulling it around, pressing on it, and you really want that to go well. Now, when you're done, you put it down like this, and you lift it. See, it's starting to curl a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Lift. Here's the stringing, watch. Let me bring it up closer so you can see. Here's the stringing. See that little string? And if this, my puddle, if I take the side of my palette knife, stick it in and bring it up, it should curl over like a little curl. Now, like a little Dairy Queen curl. Now this one's a little soft. It's not making a perfect curl. And that means you can either wait, see, you can keep doing it and practice with it, or you can wait and it will get a little thicker, or you can add a little powder to it. I'm going to try this to see what it does. If it's too soft, the little dots that I make are going to go totally flat. If it's too dry, the little dots that I make are going to get real pointy on the end, and they can bother you. So you can run your hand over it and you can get cut, because that's how sharp they can be. And what I'm going to do is just, now here, let me pull this in closer so you can see. I'm just putting my pen, I don't think you can see it as well there. Okay, I'm just gonna put this is my stylus, I'm gonna dip it in here and dip it on here. That's all I'm doing, here to here, here to here. And I do it each time because I want that dollop, and it looks like they're fine, they're not flattening out. I want that dollop to be very good on here. Go over the moon, go over his hat. Try to make it look random. I know that's not easy for a lot of people. To me, this is the easiest way to make the dots and continue to make them and have them be accurate. If you're using a brush, let me show you if you're using the brush, because this is a little bit odd. With the brush, and this is where I run into some issues sometimes, you swirl around in the mixture like this, and you pull off a little dollop. Can you see that dollop on the end there? And then you put the dollop down. And I usually can get 2 out of it, but... And if, when you're coming back up, it starts to string, then all you do is you make a circular motion, and that'll stop it from stringing. But like I said, I prefer to use the stylus. Now, see how I made a mistake there? Can you see that guy? He's like a droopy, droppy one. Okay, you can wipe it off. I keep these close by, and you just wipe it off. And if you want, you can use a little denatured alcohol just to make sure that you've gotten it all up. But what I would suggest is that you dip the end of your Q-tip in the denatured alcohol, rub it on your towel so you get a lot of it off, and then kind of look sideways to make sure you can see where any residue is on there, and let it dry. And then come back to that if you need to work on it later on. So let me turn this around now so you can see what's going on. And I'm just applying the dots. Now there's really nothing to this. It's just a matter of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you're just going to do it for the whole thing. The other thing you have to remember is, oops, I went a little too fast there. The other thing you have to remember, this is the side that has it on there. Oops. that you can always take off anything you don't like on here. So if you don't like the job you've done, you can remove it. Also, you want to make sure you go over, you know, some of the things here so that it looks like, oops, so that it looks like the snow is actually falling on more than just that, okay? You know, make sure it's falling on his hat, maybe one or two on his scarf. Put them on the trees so that it looks like it's coming over the trees. That will work pretty well, I think. Now, I know it's pretty boring. All you're doing is watching me put dots down. There we go. That one I had to correct a little bit. Okay, the key is not to have it get too thin. Now, if it's, let's say it starts to harden up on you as you're doing this, okay? There are two options that you have. If you're using a brush, you can put the brush in a little oil, and then squeeze the oil out of it, because you don't want to add oil to your enamel. And you can go and try your enamel and see if that helps. If that doesn't help, then I think you might be at the point where you need to add a little of the oil to the actual enamel. And in that case, you're going to have to just very carefully add it. And again, if you add too much, you can always wait and it will dry. It shouldn't be a problem. Now, right there, you can see it's getting a little point on it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring it really, really close. It's this guy right here. He's getting a little point on him. Now, I can knock that point down by making a little circle, but it's telling me that my enamel is getting a little too thick. And you can see, you can tell, watch, if here's my enamel, I'm going to put it down on there, and then I'm going to put my side of my thing in it. And see it's staying, it's not curling. It means it needs a little more oil, not much. That's why I use a pipette, or you can use a dropper, or anything that will just allow you to add a smidge. And what you do is you add it, let me take this off. You're going to add it on the side. Take this off. You're going to add on the side and then just add a little bit to it. See how that goes. Oops. Okay. There. See, that's much better. Okay. Alrighty. And then I'm going to go back to adding my little dots. Now, you don't want these to be the kind that have, like I said, the dots on them at the top, because if they do, they're going to be very hard, and somebody's going to put their hand over them and go, ouch. So you just have to keep working on them and playing with them to get them to the right consistency. Now let's talk a little bit about scroll work. Scrolls to me are a lot harder. I need to add a little more oil to this because it's still a little bit. There we go. I think that will help it. Okay. And I'm going to use my brush for the scroll work, and I'm only going to do it a couple of places. Also, your brush, now I left that demonstration on here, might get a little gummy or icky, and you can also use a little denatured alcohol just to clean that up. I think you can also use, I've used turpentine in the past and I haven't had a problem. And I know that people have said that they mix it down with turpentine. I have turpenoid here. It took it off. Turpentine took it off. But you want to make sure that you get rid of it and that you wipe your brush really well. Now, I'm going to circle around and pull off a little dollop. And I'm going to place that dollop on my plate and pull and lift as I go. Hang on, I didn't get quite enough on there. Let me do it again here. I'm going to put it on, pull and lift as I go. We're going to put it down and then lift as we go. Put it down and lift as we go. That's a little better. And you have to practice this. And I am not an expert at this by any means. Here, let me do this one here. I think this one you'll be able to see because it's on the dark. I'm going to put it down and lift as I pull it back. Okay, and over here, I'm going to put it. Can you see that? No, you can't. Hang on. Let me get it up so you can see it. I'm going to put it down and lift. Oops, I needed to come back further. And then, oops, here. Put it down and pull. Put it down and pull. Down and pull. Over here, it's down and pull. So that gives you an idea. Okay, and we're going to go back to just applying the little dots. Real simple. And that's why I wanted to make this something very simple for beginners. The dots are really all you need to do. Don't worry about the scrolls. That's how you do a scroll. But, you know, I would say start out small. Begin with your dots. Once you get those down pat, then you can attempt scrolling in other things. Now, the same principle as far as applying the dots can be used for raised paste with gold if you want. I mean, raised paste and raised paste with gold. I've used it on raised paste for gold using the stylus like this. And I've been real pleased with the results because I get more equal dots. Hang on. I need to get rid of this guy and this guy. I was going too fast there. I get more equal dots than I normally would. So if you're one of those people that has trouble always with the brush, always making the equal dots, this is a really good method to try because it will give you fairly equal dots to work with. You just have to keep mixing up the stuff. And see, I like that because if you're going around the outside of a plate or something. Now, some of these, like the raised paste, you can put gold on. You can put liquid bright. You can put Roman gold. Raised base for raised gold, you can also put Roman gold on, and you can put liquid bright on. And I've heard that there are enamels that you can put gold on. Personally, I think if you put an enamel on, you do that because you like the look of the enamel, right? Okay, so he's pretty well snazzed up there. We did enamel, so it gave you a lot of different techniques that you could at least learn the basics of. And then you need to practice just like I do to get to the next level in this. And I'm going to be practicing like mad because I really would love to know how to do these scrolls a little more professionally. But it at least shows you how to do it. China painting should not be a secret. How to do some of these techniques, how to add flux, what flux is, how to, mix your enamels and things. They should not be secrets. They should be something that everybody knows how to do. Pick up those brushes, keep painting, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed the program, and I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe so that other people can learn more about China painting and we can get the word out to more people. You also can look at the links below. My Paintnporcelain.com website has a lot of freebies and printables for new and experienced painters, as well as studies, supplies, and even some of my hand-painted china. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time.